We
Okay, I'm
will
gonna
have
go ahead and mute everyone.
we will have the option to stand for a little bit. We'll have an option to use 2 chairs. If you have 2 chairs, none of this is required. So please don't worry about standing or having that second chair. I do highly recommend having a second chair available to all our yoga classes because it is a nice option. A second chair is much like being on the floor for floor yoga. Okay, let's get started. No more nonsense. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. I'm so happy that you're here. Another deep breath in and out. And here we have our tall posture. We're sitting on our chair with length, strength, balance. This is called seated mountain. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears, roll them back, and allow them to settle. And then look at your hands. Look at the palms. Look at the back side of the hands. Notice the color. Notice the feeling, the temperature. And with a gentle fist, without squeezing too hard, start to tap the pinky, the meaty part right under the pinkies together, tapping. This is hand strengthening, Chinese acupressure. We're going to begin with the joints in our hands. If you logged in late, I have taken the liberty of deciding that this will be a class to send some love to our joints. And now let's turn to the inner wrist, right below the heels of the hands, tapping. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. And then we switch to right beneath the thumbs. Yes, this is super duper awkward for me. So if it's awkward for you, you're not alone. Take another deep breath. And then we just punch the palm of one hand. I like to use my knuckles to punch right in that soft part of the palm, but you don't have to. You can use the flat sides. The hand that you're punching, the open hand, try to make that as relaxed as possible. Take a deep breath and then switch to the other hand. If any of you are familiar with reflexology or have heard of reflexology, this is reflexology. We're stimulating nerve endings, which we have thousands in our hands. Okay, next is the back of hand. It's like clapping, but we're clapping with the backs of the hands, not the palms. So one palm can turn up, one palm can turn down. And be gentle here. The skin on the backs of our hands is fragile. So we're accessing, stimulating the nerve endings in our fingers and palms. Currently, the backs of our hands. We'll get to the webbings. All those are very important acupressure points, reflexology points that are connected to many other areas in our body. Let's switch now. Don't think, just switch. When I think, I get in trouble. So maybe that's the case for you. Take a deep breath. I'm so happy you all logged in. You showed up for yourself for this next hour. Yay, yay, yay for you. Okay, next, the Hoku point. So make little L's with the hands. This is the bottom. The thumb is the bottom of the L. And tap the webbing between the thumb and the first finger. We're tapping them together. This is the Hoku point, H-O-K-U. Very powerful acupressure point. If you're pregnant, stop doing this right now. it brings on contractions. This is a point that can be massaged. It's good for headaches, relaxation. Okay, now switch the hands. Turn one down, one up. Take a deep breath. Midwives, I am told midwives massage this point when the baby's overdue. All right, the other webbing. So this is an important webbing. The other webbings between the fingers. Interlace the fingers and tap those. Take a deep breath. The webbings of our fingers are wonderful places to massage. I love to do that when I'm sitting around watching the Major League Baseball playoffs or whatever on the television. I will massage the webbings of my fingers. And it's a really nice way to do a little self-care. Now pause with your fingers closed and slide the back fingers to the front. So we're just switching the interlacing of the fingers to the other hand is in front. Take a deep breath. I see you all are smiling. If you're not smiling, put a smile on your face. All right, let's pause. The hands, look at the hands. Maybe the color changed. Maybe they feel differently. Maybe the temperature changed. Send gratitude from your heart. If your heart could talk right now, imagine that there's a speech bubble saying, thank you, hands, for all you've done for me. Our hands have done a lot over the years. A lot. Now there's a lot of healing energy activated here. We can put them on a body part. If we have a heartache, we can put them on our heart. If we have toothache, we can put them on our tooth, our jaw, headache, knee pain. Place your hands wherever you needs the most love, as long as you can reach it. Belly issues, you can place them on your belly. And I'm going to slide back so we have more viewing area. I don't need to be up close anymore. Our hands are healing mechanisms. We have lots of healing energy in our hands right now. All right, let's place one hand on belly, one hand on the chest, and practice a yoga breath. Feeling the breath just naturally. And allow this inhale to lengthen the torso. And the exhale, imagine the exhale is like drawing all the energy into center. So we have this strong center core. Inhaling that length, that long feeling of our posture, and exhaling this drawing in of energy, the strengthening of our posture. And if you're using your eyebrows or your jaw right now, like I am, encourage it to soften. We don't need our eyebrows or our jaw muscles for this breathing. Good. Lengthen the breath out a little longer if you can. If you feel like you're getting enough air, slow it down, stretch it out. We're in yoga, we're always taking steps towards, I don't know, we're taking steps towards ananda, towards bliss. If any step seems too far for you, stay at the prior step. Every day is different, every hour is different, every body is different. So honor the step that you brought to your chair today. The next step, so natural breath is step one. lengthening the breath, step 2. Step 3 would be that lengthened breath with a pause at the top of the inhale. So noticing that pause, and then we exhale, and there's another pause at the bottom of the exhale. Sometimes this pause is a step I enjoy. Sometimes this pause is a step that I just need to let go of, not to do at some moments. The whole point is finding that breath awareness where we're feeling peace and calm and no anxiousness. Exploring with curiosity. All right, working head to toe now. Let's sit up nice and tall. Walk the hips to the front half of the chair and allow the right ear to lower towards the right shoulder for a couple breaths. And then the chin lowers to chest, rolling the head forward. Lift the chest up to the chin. And then the head continues to roll over to the left. So we're working the neck joint first. We will be working from head to toe today. Roll the chin forward once again. And then right ear towards right shoulder. And for the second time, maybe reaching out with the left arm. Palm as if it was pressing on a chair seat next to you. This can be quite intense. So if it's too intense for your neck today, leave your left hand on your lap. Good. Put the left hand on the lap if it's not already there, and allow the head to roll back just a little bit and then roll forward. It's still hanging off to the right. It's like a lopsided nod. Very slow, very gentle. Range of motion is up to your neck. Rolling forward now, and keep going to the left side, allowing the head to fall to the left. Take a couple breaths first with head only to the left, and then maybe pressing the right palm out to the side. Maybe not, maybe. Check in with your neck. If you're reaching out to the side, place the hand back on the lap and take those slow nods, off-center nods, forward and back. All right, pause in middle where the ear is over the shoulder and lift your head up. Place your fingers behind the bony ridge of the skull, that low occipital ridge, and keep your elbows as lengthened out as possible. Tone the belly a bit so we have a supported posture, and press the back of the head into the fingers. We're sliding the head back. We're not lifting the chin. We're sliding the whole skull straight back. The fingers are being pressed by the skull. Now the fingers also have this upward action. They're not literally sliding because they're stuck to our head, but it's as if they want to pull the back of the head up. So there's a back action and an upward intention. Breathe. It's really nice for the back of our neck. This is strengthening and lengthening the back of the neck. We really need to strengthen this, all of us. Okay, let the hands come off, but keep the head in that position and roll the shoulders back. Up to crown. This is where our head should be. Surprise! This is where we want our head to be. I forget the stat, any inch forward, our ears in front of the shoulders is adding like some crazy amount of pressure, like 40 pounds of pressure more on our tiny little neck muscles and vertebrae. Okay, let's work the shoulders. Fingertips on the shoulders, and let's circle the elbows, nice and big and slow. And we will do the neck and shoulders together. We're kind of gonna blend them, change direction, stay slow, stay big. Snap, crackle, pop. The joints on the left side of my body are always crackling. My right side is a very quiet side. Inhale, open the arms, press the backs of the hands back, the chest is big and lifted, and exhale, give yourself a hug, curling the front side. Look to see which arm is on top. We're going to do one more hug with the other arm on top. Inhale to open, exhale to hug, other arm on top. Good. Return to seated mountain, hands on lap, shoulders roll back, allow them to settle. Now, you can use your fingers to find that head position that's pressing back and lifting up. However, without the hands, try it without the hands first and see how you do. I like to imagine I'm lying in my bed and I'm pressing my head into the pillow. I'm face up, lying face up, pressing my head into the pillow and then reaching the top of the head towards the headboard. Keeping the belly strong and toned. Now, in this position, shrug the shoulders up to the ears, roll them back, and allow them to settle. The shoulders and the head are having a contest. Who can stay settled back the best? And we want a tie. We want them both to win. Okay, keeping the chin level with the floor, slowly start to turn the head to the right. To the right. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Breathe. And allow that left shoulder to be heavy. Heavy left shoulder. And head returns back centered. Slowly turn the head to the left. Chin stays level with the floor. Heavy right shoulder. We feel lengthening, opening in the right side of the neck. Even if you don't feel it, it's happening. 100% money back guaranteed. Please don't write for me and ask for money. Breathe. Head back to center. Open up the arms. Breathe in. Roll the shoulders back. Palms turn up. Roll the shoulders forward. Palms turn down. This is coming from shoulder joint. Shoulders roll back. Palms turn up. Shoulders roll forward. Palms turn down. Keep going. Sending love to our shoulders. If any joint we work today is causing pain, the red light pain. Red light pain meaning it should not be doing this. Then don't do it. That's your body telling you not to do it. When the shoulders are rolled back and the palms are up, reach one hand up, one hand down. Back to T-shape, other side. Yellow light pain. I wish there were different words than just pain. It's like love, there's so many meanings. One more time each side. The pit of the belly, corset those ribs. This is side 1, second set. Reach the hands apart. Is your head in that lovely back position, lifted tall and pressing back? Other side. The yellow light pain is maybe this is just discomfort because I haven't worked this joint or this muscle in a while, and it's saying, oh, we need to move this more or do this more. All right, pause with hands on lap. Shrug the shoulders up, roll them back. Good. All right, sun breath. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, press the palms together. Shoulders are super tricky too, because it's just a weird joint. 3 more sun breaths. I always tell people, and even my own body, err on the side of caution. If it's a pain I can't tell, if it's a yellow light or red light pain, I assume it's a red light pain, and I don't want to compromise my joint anymore. Shoulders, to avoid that, we keep our hands low below the shoulder joint. That helps. All right, hands on the hips. Let's warm up the spine now. We started with the cervical spine. Let's warm up the rest of the spine. Leaning right to left, hands on hips, and the hands are just helping the hip stay tacked down so we get more of a lengthening action. We can stay here with our hands on our hips, or we can place our hands on the shoulder and teeter-totter left to right. Please make sure you're staying lifted and the belly is toned, or we can stretch the arms out straight and long and side bend with hands on hips, hands on shoulders, or hands reaching in opposite directions. You do you today. Awesome. Oh my gosh, this feels really good. It does for you too. All right, back to center. Seated mountain. Let it all incorporate and soak in. All right, very nice. Let's do some cat-cow. Hands on lap, rolling the spine forward, extending back bend, and then pulling the belly back, arching the spine, flexing the spine. And we can move with breath, inhaling to arch, exhaling to round. We can move with breath or take it slower than the breath, or don't think about the breath at all. Just move the spine. Every day, our body might need something a little different than the day before. Love me the cat, love me the cow. Very nice. Let's heel toe the feet open. We're going to take cat-cow with more movement, more hip hinging. So place the knife edge side of your hands, the pinky side of the hands, in the hip crease, and practice hinging over the fingers. We want to make sure we're hinging at the hip crease. We're not bending the back. The cow portion of the hinge is hinging forward and leading with our chest. So there's an arc in the back. It's like we're swan diving, actually. And some yoga teachers will call it that. We can swan dive with our wings out and dive forward with that flat back. It's even an arched back. I want you to keep your hands on your lap, though, or in that hip crease as you swan dive forward. The second part, so this is the cow part, is the cat. The cat is pulling the belly in and rounding up. So we unroll as we rise. Swan dive forward with arch back, and then pull the belly up. And how do you describe that? It's like we're unrolling as we round up. Take a couple more. All right. Now we're going to put the shoulders and the spine twisting together. We're going to swan dive forward, but stop halfway. Then we zip the pit of the belly, lift the pit of the belly to hold the back in place. Dip, the hands are on the lap, dip one shoulder forward. It's a little twist, and we're looking beyond the other shoulder. And then we untwist. We're still hinged forward, center, and we dip and twist the other way. If you want to connect breath, inhale brings us back to center. Exhale dips and twists us. This is called Dairy Queen Asana. Otherwise, that's Sanskrit for dip and twist. I know the ancient yogis had Dairy Queens on the corner in the valleys. That's a joke. I hear you all laughing. Inhale the center, exhale the dip and twist. Good. When next time you're centered, push into your lap and come on up to wide-legged seated mountain. Hands up to goal post. Engage the belly to one way, to center, twist the other way. Range of motion might be a little bit different for this twisting upright. That's okay. Good stuff. Back to centered. Lift the heels. Squeeze the knees open. If your heels are not cooperating, just press the feet down and squeeze the knees open. Press the backs of the hands and the elbows back as best you can. Where is your head in space? Lift the head up from the crown and slide it into your pillow. Breathe. Engage the belly. Let the belly be strong. This is our strong goddess pose. Awesome. Hands down, heels down. If they're up, wiggle, shake it out. Shake your bones. Shake your bones. Bounce your leg bones, bounce your shoulder bones, bounce your arm bones. Just keep bouncing. I'm going to time us. We're going to bounce and shake. Bounce and shake and shimmy. This is the best thing we can do for our immune system. Better than vitamin C, better than vitamin D. Keep bouncing. It's okay. Your other option is to jump on a trampoline. Keep bouncing. You got 10 more seconds. 10. Move it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now be as still as a statue. Still as a statue, the best you can. Do you still feel motion? I do. If you don't, there is a lot of energy moving around, and your lymphatic system is so happy right now. It's a big part of our immune system. Let's take a couple more breaths in stillness. Good. Heel toe the feet together, closer together. In fact, the thighs can be touching. If you have a block, you can put a block between your legs too. Left hand to the right leg, sit up nice and tall, and allow the belly to twist to the right, ribs right, shoulders right. and breathe. That same breath intention we did at the beginning of the class. Inhaling length, exhaling, feeling the strength. One more inhale, the lengthening inhale. One more exhale, the strengthening exhale. Hands release, body unwinds. One breath in seated mountain. And then switch directions. Right hand to left leg, left hand holds the chair seat. Inhaling length, exhaling strength as the belly twists to the left, ribs left, shoulders left. Gaze is left. Inhaling length. Exhaling, finding strength, squeezing to the core. So good. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Happy spine. It's a Chinese proverb. Happy spine, happy life. Okay, let the hands go. Return back to seated mountain. Let's flap the knees in and out. We're going to hips now. Hips, knees, ankles. And then we'll do some standing postures. Whether we're standing or on the chair, it won't matter. It'll be up to your body today. Okay. Put the two fists between the knees and a little bit higher, so it's in a fleshier part. And squeeze your knees into the fist. Squeeze, 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 and then let go. 2 more times. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. If you have a block, you can squeeze the block instead of your hands, but you don't have to use a block. Squeeze, 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 and let go. 1 more time. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Use your inner thighs and let go. Hands to the outside of the thighs. Press your feet down and press your knees open, but resist with the arms. Arms are not allowing the legs to open. Resist, 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 and then let it go. Press your feet down, hands onto the outer thighs. Press the feet down and squeeze the knees open. Hands resist. And then release that. 1 more time. Press the feet down. Squeeze the knees open, but the arms are resisting. Whoo! Strength. These are called isometrics. Release. Okay. Hinge forward. Hinge at the hip crease and interlace the fingers under the right thigh. If you like to use a strap to lift the leg, please use a strap. Put it under your right foot. And then when we hinge upright, the strap or cable arms bring the leg up too. Lift and lower the lower leg. Flex that ankle. Toes are pointing up. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Nice and slow. With the foot lower and the knee bent, circle the thigh. We're circling in the hip joint. Change directions. Pause, hold the straps, both straps or the leg with the right hand only, and put the left hand on the hip. Left side of body's in seated mountain, and we're opening the right leg to the right. Breathe. Option to make the leg straighter, reaching out for the heel. If you can hook the big toe or the ankle, hold the ankle with the hand, then please do. Straighten the leg out to the side. The leg does not have to straighten. This is so good for our balance because it's challenging our balance. Left side seated mountain, strong left side. Reach the left arm open and turn the head. Breathe. Watch your posture and where is your head in relationship to the shoulders. Breathe. All right. If the knee is straight, rebend it, and then the leg comes back to center. Shake it out. You do you. You find your levels today. There's no contest in yoga. It's a loving, non-harming practice. Other side, if you're using a strap, put it under your left foot. If you're not using a strap, hinge forward, interlace the fingers under the thigh. Strap and arms, lift the leg when the torso sits up straight. Breathe, straighten and bend, straighten and bend. You don't have to go all the way straight. I do love the strap for many reasons, but I am such a fan of hand strengthening and working with my hands to keep my arthritis, my hands more flexible, and that reflexology. So I'm using the stirrup grip with my hands as often as I can. Okay, when the knee is bent, circle. You know, I always have to add a little commercial advertisement for something. That was my advertisement today. The stirrup grip. Change direction. And when I find myself sitting around with my hands interlaced, I'm just sitting, having a conversation with a friend, let's say, pause, right hand to the hip, left hand holds both straps or the bottom of the leg, open the leg to the left. I switch the grip. I go to the opposite of my interlace. We always go to the same way. It's instinctual. I try to be mindful and go the opposite now and then. Breathe. Maybe straighten the left leg out. Oh, I'm not doing that side today. Maybe reach out with the right hand. Find your level today, your Goldilocks zone. You know how they say, brush your teeth with a non-dominant hand? Interlacing your hands the awkward way, the unnatural way, is the same idea. It's just using you're accessing different neural pathways. Breathe. Supta Padangusthasana. No, that's not Supta. This is Padangusthasana. Back to center, shake it out, shimmy and shake. Something about teaching yoga online, and I've heard other yoga teachers say this too, our Sanskrit has gone out the window. You know, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And my Sanskrit, I have forgotten so much. Okay, let's lift one heel and then the other, moving on to the ankles. And then we got to get to our sit to stand pose, which is called chair pose. We're pumping the ankles right now, lifting the heels as high as we can. And now with both feet flat, imagine there's a little hand towel under the foot, a little hand towel or a napkin, a cloth napkin. Start with the right foot and imagine that you're trying to grab that cloth napkin and pick it up and then drop it onto the floor and then set your foot back down onto it. So we're squunching the toes, trying to grab that imaginary cloth napkin, lifting it up, and then letting go. The toes straight in here. They're supposed to anyway. My second and third toe are not cooperating, and then set the foot back down. Let's do that a couple more times with the right foot. And hey, when you're not in class and you have a cloth napkin or a hand towel, throw it on the floor and do this. Your feet will thank you. Did you know that they can talk? Our feet can talk. It's called barking. Okay, set that right foot back down and just lift the toes. leave the ball mounds of the feet down. The whole foot is down except for the little peninsulas, those 5 little peninsulas. Lift them up and spread them as best you can. This might be your imagination today, all in your imagination, and that's fine. Lower them down. One more time. Lift and separate those peninsulas. They're like tectonic plates. They're separating. And then set them down. Whew, that's a lot for that foot. Good job. Right. Number 2, left foot. Hello, left foot. Let's do it. Pick that cloth napkin up and then let it go. Set the foot back down on it. Squunch it, grab it, lift it up, let it go. Then set the foot back down. Couple more times. Toe joints. We're working the toe joints. Very, very important footwork. This is where it all begins. Our connection to the earth. All right. And now with the foot staying down, lift the toes, spread them out, and then relax the floor. Lift the toes only. Make sure the ball mounds, the 3 corners of the feet, heel, big toe mound, pinky toe mound stay down. Lift the toes and lower them down. One more time. All right, shake it out, shake it out. Thank you, foot. Thank you, foot. Let's circle the ankles slowly, a couple times in each direction. So our peak pose, all this joint warming up and this joint class obviously is good for our synovial fluid, other ankle. We're self-lubricating machines. The more we move our joints, the more our joints produce fluid, which we want. Otherwise, we would be like the Tin Man. We'd have to wait for Dorothy to squirt us with the oil can. Wouldn't that be horrible to wait around for that? We got to move instead. We get to move instead. It's a privilege. Okay. So all of this is kind of a warm up for our sit to stand pose, chair pose. You do not have to stand. You can if you feel safe. If you have a second chair or a counter in front of you, that's a wonderful way to have added security. If you don't worry. Just don't stand. The body will think it is standing, that it's coming up to stand. Place your feet a comfortable distance apart. Toes will be pointing outward a little bit. How much is up? It will be how it feels strongest in your body. Heels are, again, a distance away from you where you feel strongest when you're pushing down into the earth. So push down a couple times just for half a second and notice where you feel the biggest lift. If your feet are really close together and far away, there's a lift, but it's not a very powerful lift. If they're spread apart a little more and a little closer, you'll feel more power. And then we have this hinging action. The body hinges forward so we can transfer. We're changing the center of gravity to be more over the feet. Some people like to put their hands on their thighs and they feel stable that way. That is great. That's fine. As they push down and feel that lift. Please make sure you're taking breaks. We're using very big muscle groups when we do this. And we don't want to get out of breath and fall over. Or hands on counter, hands on the back of the other chair. Hinging forward, pressing down. When we shift our weight over our heels, maybe we can hover. Maybe we can hover, lifting the hips off the chair. This is chair pose. Hips on the chair, leaning forward, pushing down is chair pose. Hips off the chair is chair pose. If we keep pressing down, the legs will eventually straighten and we come to stand in a way that's symmetrical, which is much easier on our joints and our shoulders. So you do you today. Practice this 3, 4, 5 times. Maybe coming to a stand, maybe not. Maybe hovering, maybe hinging forward and rooting down, but some of our weight stays on the chair. It's all good. It's all good. Love this. If you decided to stand, coming down is important as well, because our tendency is to look for the chair seat, put a hand, usually our stronger hand, on the chair. We're twisted, and then we come to a seat. Our knees are twisted. Obviously, we want to look behind us and see that a chair is there. We come down the same, our goal is to come down the same way we came up. Bend the knees, stick the butt out. We were sticking our butt out when we were on the chair, hinging forward, stick the butt out and shift the weight back, slowly lowering down. Great to practice that way too. Hands on thighs or on the counter or on the back of the chair. You know, when we perfect this, we're not breaking off the toilets, the toilet paper holder. Some of us use that as a handle. All right, chair pose. Very good, everybody. If you have decided to stand, let's take tree pose. If you decided to sit, we will do tree pose seated. If you're standing, turn to the left, put your weight on the left leg, bend the right knee and point the knee to the right, hand to the hip. If you're seated, left side is in mountain, right knee drops open and to the right, and the bottom of the right foot is inside the left leg. You can have it on a block to lift it up higher inside the leg. If you're standing, that right foot can be on a block as well. Hands to the hips. If one hand is on the chair, maybe one hand can come to half Anjali Mudra if you're standing. If you're seated, both hands can come to Anjali Mudra. If you're standing and one hand, your right hand's on the chair, lift the left hand up high. If you're seated, both arms up high. Lots of options for lower body and upper body. Breathe, feel the left foot, the strong left leg in mountain posture, whether it's straight while you're standing or in the chair position on the chair. Breathe. Hands return first to the hips, back of the chair, and then the right foot comes down. So we're in seated mountain or standing mountain, both feet on the floor. Okay, let's get some cellular memory in here. Roll the shoulders back. Press the head into the pillow and lift the crown of head towards the headboard. Keep the belly toned, keep the ribs engaged. Shoulders need to be back gently. Head needs to be sliding back gently and lifting. Breathe. I added this. It's always good to do when we're seated, but standing as well. Often our posture standing can be very different than when we're seated. Tree pose on right side. Shift the weight to the right leg. Bend the left knee and allow that left knee to open to the left. If you're seated, same thing. Right side's in mountain. Bottom of left foot connected to the inner right leg. Whether you're seated or standing, the left foot can be on a block or the big toe can stay on the floor, no big deal. Let's roll the shoulders back here and settle the head in the backward position as well. Close the ribs, engage the low belly. Breathe. Then find your arms at the hips. Both hands at Anjali Mudra or one if you're holding the chair. If you're seated, both hands lifting or one hand lifting if you're holding the chair. Feel your right leg, standing leg, whether you're seated or not. Right roots of the right foot, strong right leg. Breathe. All right, hands down, legs return to mountain. Where does the time go? My, oh my. Let's do a L pose. This will be different for the standers, the people standing. Face the back of the chair and walk your feet back. Baby steps back. Stick the, oops, I'm tripping on my chair. Stick the butt out, hinge at the hips, hold the back of the chair so you look like a figure 7 from the side. Here we scoop the belly away from the floor, engage the low belly. The knees are soft, the sit bones are reaching back, and the hands are reaching forward, holding onto the chair. For those in the chair, if you have a second chair, it's lovely to hinge forward, place your hands on the chair so the arms are straight and hinge forward. The head is sinking between the arms. If you don't have a second chair, that we're hinged forward and the hands drop down. Elbows can be on the lap. It's a hinge forward with a lengthening of the spine. I like the elbows on my lap today. You do you. Just explore what helps lengthen your spine. There's a sense of traction from the top of the head to the tailbone. Breathe. This is an adaptation of downward facing dog. Down dog is probably the most commonly known yoga pose, even amongst people that don't practice yoga. Probably because it's fun to say, down dog. Unless it's actually a giant dog jumping on you. Then it's not so much fun to say. Okay, hands to the lap if you're seated and press yourself up, right? If you're standing, look between your hands that are on the chair and take baby steps forward until you can stand up in mountain right behind the chair. One more goddess pose. So for the people who are seated, walk the feet wide. And if you're standing, walk the feet wide. Please hold on to the back of the chair. Drop the hips between the heels if you're standing. If you're seated, you don't have to do this. Your hips are already low. Everybody press your knees open. Press the knees open. Notice what's happening to the feet. Keep the feet equal. Some of us want to go on the outer edges of our feet. Press that big toe mound down if that's what's happening in your feet. Knees are pressed open. Sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back. Press the head into the pillow and up towards the headboard without lifting the chin. Maybe one arm comes to goalpost, maybe both arms. Breathe. Keep squeezing those knees open. A lot of outer hip, outer thigh work here. And glutes. Breathe. Hands down. If you're standing, pushing the feet to straighten the legs. And then we'll find our chair seat or Shavasana. If you have two chairs, put your calves, turn your chair around and put your legs up on the chair. Lean back. Whether you have a second chair or not, lean back into the chair. Keep a tall, erect posture, however. Roll the shoulders back. Gently slide the head more into the pillow and lift the crown ahead. Palms can be up on the lap or down. Down is grounding. Up is for receiving. And if you're not sure, put one up and one down. Soften the skin on the forehead. Feel the eyelid skin soft. Encourage the ears to relax. And the jaw. And the tongue. Space in the mouth. Feel spaciousness in the mouth. Breath is happening naturally. Watch the breath, feel the breath, ride along with the breath. No need to change it. Now imagine a golf ball that's green and shimmering, like all these little green sparks of light, golf ball size, tucked right in your chest. And without changing the breath, this is a natural inhale. That golf ball grows. With each breath, like pulsating bigger and bigger. And then every time you exhale, the little green sparks coming off that ball are spreading out. Little baby bits of green light spreading all the way to our tips of our fingers, toes, in and around every joint. So visualize that green sparkling light traveling, spreading out into the big joints, the little joints, all the nooks and crannies from head to toe. This beautiful green healing light, sparkling, shimmering, spreading. And now it spreads not just the joints and the spaces between, but the organs. So visualize like you have x-ray vision, like going in and around all our organs, starting with the brain, the eyeballs, down into the neck, the thyroid, parathyroid, the chest, the heart, the lungs, spleen, pancreas. Green shimmering light in and around all our organs, filling all the spaces. Good. Now imagine that you're a young child. Picture yourself at like age 7, 8 years old. And you have a big butterfly net. And you're in the field. And you see your current self lying down in the field, glowing green, this beautiful green shimmering illusion of yourself, your adult self. And your child self takes this butterfly net and starts to collect all this beautiful green shimmering light into the net. And once all that light's collected, the leftover parts, that adult you lying in the field, is smiling happily, dreaming, lying there very happy, healthy, content. And your child self has this butterfly net full of this beautiful big ball of green shimmering light. Imagine your adult self gets up, smiles at this child, and this child offers the adult this green ball of light that's in his net, in his or her net. Take that ball of light out with your 2 hands and tuck it into your chest with the comfort of knowing that this beautiful healing light is always there, always available. Take a deep breath in. And if you wish to come out of Shavasana, you can certainly stay here longer with your mindful rest, your constructive rest. If you wish to come out, wiggle the toes and the fingers, circle the wrists and the ankles, slowly waking up the body. If your feet are off the floor, gradually slide them off the chair or the block so that the feet touch the floor. Palms together at the chest, lift the chest to the thumbs, bow the head to the hands. We bow with gratitude for one another. We bow with gratitude for our community, our friends and family, our world leaders, and our community leaders. My heart bows to your heart with love, joy, peace, and healing. Namaste.
Namaste.